His 7th victory loan open. The home front and the battle front team up to supply the money to help win the victory. In the field, every formation has its victory loan organizer, and the men line up to sign up. They have an eye on the future. They know it takes money besides men to win the war. Even in hospital they are lending their money. Captain William Grayson, MC, who went to France on D-Day, buys a bond. Sergeant Stollery, MM of the Canadian Army Film Unit, buys a bond. The veterans of today know that victory bonds are insurance for the future. His Eminence, Cardinal Villeneuve, arrives at an airport in the United Kingdom. He is welcomed by Major General Montague, Air Chief Marshal Sir Frederick Bohill, and a group of dignitaries of the church and senior chaplains of the forces. At London's Westminster Cathedral, a church parade is held for Canadian Roman Catholic personnel. The service is presided over by the Cardinal, the Archbishop of Quebec. Cardinal Villeneuve has stopped off in England on his way to the Holy See in Rome. During his stay, he will visit many hospitals housing Canadians back from the front line. In Camp Borden, Ontario, a group of members of the United Automobile Workers Union from Windsor and Oshawa pay a visit to the men of the Canadian Army. Trading factory overalls for the black coveralls and berets of the Canadian Armoured Corps, the workers see at first hand the use made of the machines they themselves have built. The workers talk to Army men, get taken for a ride over some of the toughest tank proving grounds in the Empire, and generally absorb the Army slant on life and affairs. They see demonstrations of the excellent gunnery that is contributing to the winning of the war in France and Italy. Gives war workers a chance to live the Army life for a few days, and that includes sampling Army chow. Arranged by the Department of National Defense and the Wartime Information Board, the bugle call replaces the factory whistle for 3 days packed full of interesting experiences. A complete tour of the great training camp gives the workers added incentive to put that last ounce of energy into the production line, the energy which will keep the wheels of victory rolling at top speed. The visit has been a splendid thing. Civilian workers and Army men have had a real get-together. General Worthington, camp commandant of Borden, says, "Come and see us again sometime."
Canada's fighting men go over the top. In Sicily and in Italy, they proved themselves in battle, and in Canada's 5th victory loan, they proved themselves in buying. 12 days after the campaign opened, the Canadian Army Overseas passed its $2,500,000 objective, and the barometer was still rising. The 5th victory loan was a fresh challenge to the nation to pledge itself anew to the waging of the war, and that challenge was well answered. For the Canadian Army Overseas, it was their war, and they knew full well the great necessity for the tools with which to fight it. In 8 days, Canadians in Italy had subscribed $612,000, and the demand was so great that application forms were exhausted. Their objective of $1 million was soon passed, bringing the overseas subscription to $4,750,000. Canada's fighting men and women pressing forward to the day of victory. Major General the Honorable P.J. Montague and other senior officers were at the airport to greet Colonel the Honorable J.L. Ralston, Canadian Minister of National Defense, on another of his flying trips to Great Britain. Mr. Frederick Hudd represented the Honorable Vincent Massey, and others included Lieutenant General Stewart and Major General Letson, also a recent arrival in England. Major General Letson, accompanied by Major General Roberts, paid a visit recently to various reinforcement units. The pre-Octu Selection Center was among the places visited, and the officer commanding, Colonel McNeil, showed them the training course. After visits to infantry reinforcement units, they went to No. 1 Canadian Base Ordnance Workshop, where the Major General and his party examined the many types of drills and machines used in the workshop. The Royal Canadian Engineers Reinforcement Unit was next on the list of units to visit, and all in all, it was a busy day. Cadet J.A. Hickson, DCM, is the only Canadian soldier to be twice decorated in this war. Winner of the DCM at Dieppe, he has now been awarded the Military Medal for bravery while serving with the 8th Army. Congratulations, Hickson. You'll make a fine officer. We are the veterans of this war. We are the men who came from Canada with the 1st Division. We landed full of high hopes, ready for a crack at the enemy. But we never landed in France. Though we boarded the troop ships, they only sailed out of the harbor. We are the young veterans. We fought in the hot and blood-stained beaches of Dieppe. On a sunny day in August, we attacked against the withering fire of the enemy. We made the reconnaissance in force. We pioneered the landings in Sicily. But we are not the wounded who returned from Dieppe. They did not lie in the sun on the beaches waiting for the German stretcher bearers. They are the more fortunate ones who returned on that day. But we have had our day at last. After 15 months in prison, we are on our way home. We landed at Leith on another sunny day in October. General Sir Ronald Adam greeted us and read us a message from our King.
The Queen and I bid you a very warm welcome. Through all your trials and sufferings, you have been constantly in our thoughts, and we rejoice to think that you are now safe home. Even though the actual homes of some of you are in the distant parts of the Empire, you may be very sure that while you are in these islands, you will never lack friends. You may wonder who I am after you've heard the Adjutant General. I am the Lord Provost of the city of Edinburgh, and as such the Lord High Admiral of the Fourth, and it is at Leith, which is part of the city of Edinburgh, you're going to land. Those of you Scotsmen will appreciate very much how warm the welcome we want to give you. But those of you who are not Scotsmen, those of you who are less fortunate, those of you who are not Scotsmen, we'll try and do the best we can for you. Turn your minds back to the fact that this war is not over. Much is yet to be endured. Think of your comrades whom you've left behind. They're still unfree. Think of Europe. It is still unfree. You and I and the people of this country are going to join together to free your comrades and free the world. That's our welcome this morning.
Ashore, some of us were able to walk. We may have seemed to be sound in wind and limb, but we are not, for all of us are wounded or disabled. But that didn't stop us yelling, singing, and waving to the girls. We sang Roll Out the Barrel because we didn't know a newer song. We had just come back from Germany, where we had seen the arrogant Hun gradually change. Now they were becoming uncertain of the victory they had promised. We had broken their morale by our faith.
You're Canadian?
Yes.
And an oath as well?
Yes.
I suppose you've got enough of by this
No.
time, without getting captured again. How long have you been a prisoner?
14 months.
14 months?
Yes.
Where were you captured?
Dieppe.
Some of us landed at Liverpool. We were the more seriously wounded. Some were stretcher cases, some blind, but arriving in England gave us new hope. Mr. Massey, the High Commissioner, came down to meet us. He greeted us and wished us luck from Canada. But whether we came ashore walking or if we were carried on stretchers, one thought was uppermost in our minds. We were on our way home, and the people of Britain had welcomed us again with the joy they showed when we first arrived here nearly 4 years ago. We are the young veterans of this war. We have given our limbs in the fight for freedom. We are not only soldiers, we are men of the Royal Canadian Air Force. We were the pilots, the bomb aimers, and the air gunners who were shot down over Germany. Yes, we have been in the fight. Some of us have seen the cities of Germany laid waste by the accurate bombs of the air forces of the United Nations, but now we are on our way to the hospitals to complete our cure. We are anxious now to get home. These are some of us. Jim Fleming and C. Hoskin from Windsor, Bob Hall from Toronto, Sergeant Michaud from Montreal, who fought at Dieppe, Armand Gerard, who comes from Belle River, Ontario, Norman Scully from Windsor, captured at Dieppe, Norman Colley of the Essex Scottish, also captured at Dieppe, Frank Ouellette, Cartier, Ontario.
Norman and I are from Windsor, while Glenn is a Toronto boy. We all went to Dieppe together, and, well, we managed to catch a packet. Then we were sent to Germany, Glenn and I going to Starligate B, while Norm went to 9C. Since then, since we have passed the repatriation committee, we have been waiting anxiously to return home. Now that we are actually here, well, we can hardly believe it. Time won't go fast enough now before we get back to Canada.
We are the young veterans. We fought at the beginning of the end.